Governor Lee announced a statewide school voucher program this week with some Republican support. Democrats say they will gather with those Republicans who oppose it and fight it. Armed with a slogan, a video, some believing parents.
You should be able to have a choice.
Governor Bill Lee and fellow Republicans gathered this week to launch a push for expanding the school voucher program from 3 counties to all 95.
Today we are unveiling the Tennessee Education Freedom Scholarship Act. Our plan to establish a new statewide school choice program that will empower parents with the freedom to choose the right education for their child and to give them a say in where their taxpayer dollars are spent.
The program would allow tax dollars to be used to pay fees at private schools, Christian schools, home schools.
Access to a high-quality education has the power to change the trajectory of a child's life forever. And there is no question that today is the time that we need to allow parents who know best what's best for their child as it relates to education, that we need to give those parents choices.
The GOP talking point is giving parents school choice, but the visiting governor of Arkansas proudly proclaimed the real agenda, a state-by-state conservative takeover of public education.
There's an absolute conservative education revolution happening in our country, and I wanted to be part of it here in Tennessee, as well as my home state of Arkansas. It has already swept Little Rock and across the natural state. And I know with Governor Lee's leadership, the Speaker, the Lieutenant Governor, it is going to sweep across the volunteer state as well.
Governor Lee seemed disappointed it has not already happened in Tennessee.
We started this choice movement in Tennessee in 2019, but now 9 states have passed us in this effort and have offered universal school choice to the citizens in their states. It's time that Tennessee move in that same direction, because we know that the right school for the right kid will change that child's trajectory forever.
And this couldn't come soon enough. It's not a secret that America's students are struggling. COVID lockdowns erased years of progress in math and reading. Some schools now seem more interested in teaching the newest politically correct fad than basic writing and arithmetic. Where the education establishment has failed, conservatives are picking up the pieces. From school boards to state legislatures to Congress, education freedom is winning across this country. I couldn't be prouder to stand up here with all of you to announce the next state to join the conservative education revolution. And I couldn't be prouder that it's our neighbor to the east, Tennessee.
Democrats have a different view of the idea.
Vouchers are a scam. They steal public tax dollars from our neighborhood schools and give them to wealthy families' credit coupon system for their private school tuition.
So let's call it what it is. As Senator Lamar said, this is a scam. This voucher scam is only the latest step in Governor Bill Lee and the GOP supermajority's strategic and purposeful undermining of Tennessee's public education system.
This scam came out of criminality, and I'm certain criminality will again be involved this time in trying to pass it. And I'm just hoping that some federal officials will finally come in and assist us in this state.
The voucher program passed in 2019 only after major arm twisting during a vote held open by then-Speaker Glenn Cassida for 40 minutes. There is some Republican opposition, but the leadership, the governor, lieutenant governor, and speaker are all on board.
I believe in education, and I believe that that's one thing that the state does best and has an obligation to continue to do best. Where we seem to fail is when we require a student to go to a failing school just because of their geographic location. And I think we can change that, help give students and their parents, especially their parents, a freedom of choice.
In Tennessee, we can have success in public and private schools.
As the governor said the other day, it's not an either or, it's an and. We're going to continue to invest in public education in our state. But at the same time, we have to realize that kids, that may not be the best place for them at that point in time. So we should empower parents and give them the ability to choose what is best for their child. Whether that's public, private, charter, Christian, the opportunity and the options should be up to that individual parent to make that decision for themselves.
For many, many years, I've hoped for this day and this opportunity for the children of this state. I saw it a dozen years ago, how much we needed this to happen in our state. Imagine that it would be possible, and we have worked really hard. What I believe to be possible is that we can have the best public school systems in the country, and that we can provide choice for every Tennessee family in this state. Those two things can happen if we will stay focused and make certain that it is not about a school or a system or a strategy as much as it is about a child.
Democrats vowed to work with Republicans to fight to keep the statewide voucher system from winning passage.
We've had a long bipartisan tradition of making sure that our schools are accountable, that our kids are taking testing to make sure that they are high performing, that we are teaching to standards that the students are tested on. And with this expansion, this idea to allow this program to be statewide, schools will not have to adhere to those standards. They will not have to have the same types of licensing and curriculum and accountability. And if this was just a private school, okay. If you as a parent choose to send your child there with your own money and you want them to get education that is inferior to a traditional public school, by all means. But we are talking about public dollars, taxpayer dollars, going to private institutions.
This is about working families across Tennessee, both rural and urban, who are getting gypped by a system and their money going towards corporations who want to open up schools. This is a scam. This is an injustice to the Tennessee families who work hard, who are struggling every day. This is injustice to the local governments who got to fill that funding gap already if we reject those federal funds. This is going to be on the taxpayers whose property taxes are going to increase in addition to their tax money going to private schools.
The plan is to completely level public education because the Republicans are tired of being in the business of public education, and they want those tax dollars, our tax dollars, your tax dollars, to go to private entities who would be glad to provide, programs like Hillsdale and things like that to take up the slack.
School vouchers are a scam to divert precious tax dollars away from our local schools, your local schools, and into private schools that are unaccountable to taxpayers and are not required to serve all students. He's proposing to rip off Tennessee taxpayers simply to subsidize private school education for his wealthy friends and the wealthy few, all the while pillaging money from local public schools that serve the vast majority of Tennessee's children.